Welcome to your Monday edition of Up to Speed Live. It's a big week. We've got a jam-packed show for you today. Keep your calendars handy. Lots this week you do not want to miss. But first, coming up in just a few short minutes, we are having a conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the world of Wall Street and all that Verizon's finance team is doing to help create lasting generational change through some very important partnerships in the capital markets. This is a fantastic discussion just ahead. Keep your mind on finance this week, of course. Looking outside here in Jersey, the buds are about to blossom. But before we look too far ahead, always important to reflect back on the first quarter behind us. And in just a few days, we will get to hear how we fared on our Q1 earnings webcast. Of course, Hans and our leadership team will be sharing their thoughts on all things earnings, not only on where we've been, but also where we're going, how we're growing. So be sure to tune in this Wednesday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. This week also marks National Volunteer Week. This is an opportunity, of course, for all of us to give back, recognize the power we all have in changing the world. Make sure you take some time to visit our volunteer portal. Head to the Inside Verizon app. We've got an article on all kinds of family-friendly, fun activities you can choose from. And if you're keeping score, we are well on our way to reaching 2.5 million volunteer hours by 2025. Let's keep those hours rolling. All right, speaking of changing the world for good, Verizon just announced several environmental initiatives to reduce its global climate impact. Included are new science-based targets and a new carbon avoidance goal. We also have a new social impact accelerator program to help communities adapt in the face of climate change, and an update to our previously announced goal to plant 20 million trees by 2030. We've also just published our 2020 ESG report. ESG, of course, stands for environmental, social, and governance. Our ESG strategy is built to see our vision for a sustainable future come to fruition. We will be sure to link that ESG report in today's web story. All right, let's keep that green theme going. Coming up this Thursday, we've got a special Earth Day Up to Speed. In addition, on Thursday, we've also got a Next 20 on climate justice featuring Dr. Ayanna Johnson, marine biologist and co-founder of Urban Ocean Lab and co-host of the podcast How to Save a Planet. Dr. Johnson will talk about what we can do to survive and thrive as the climate changes, especially in our most vulnerable communities. Our Next 20 on climate justice happening this Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Check it out on Verizon's Twitter page or our Inside Verizon LinkedIn as well. All right, in the world of 5G, I know we've already had a lot of exciting 5G news this year, but just late breaking here, I did receive some breaking news here that the good folks on our communications team would like me to read, and it reads, hold on to your hats, because tomorrow's Up to Speed is going to feature multiple 5G announcements, but if you say any more right now, you'll get in big trouble. Probably should have read the card first before reading it out loud. So that's all I'll say. There you go, 5G news tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Turning now to our conversation about diversity, equity, inclusion, and finance. We've spent the past year discussing topics that deal with racial equity and representation. We'd like to spend some time now looking at these topics through the lens of finance, not just with our Verizon leaders, but real talk with external partners who are sharing with us what happens when diversity, equity, and inclusion become top priorities in the capital markets. Here's that conversation. When it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, most people think about people. But another place we're actively trying to make a difference is on Wall Street, setting a bar with the financial transactions that we make and the firms that we work with. To talk about all that Verizon is doing on that front, I'm joined today by Scott Crone and Suzanne Ferrara-Mora from the Treasury team here at Verizon, and by Sydney Dillard, partner and head of corporate investment banking at Loop Capital Markets, and Bob Hong, managing director at Ramirez. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us for this very important conversation. Suzanne, we'll start with you. What does diversity, equity, and inclusion look like when we're talking about capital markets, and what are we, Verizon, trying to do?
I joined Treasury about a year and a half ago, and what I didn't anticipate coming into this role was the huge opportunity that there was to really advance diversity and racial equity on Wall Street. So over the past decade, we've raised the bar for ourselves in how we work with the diversity firms. And we've also raised the bar for other companies as we see them responding as well. Treasury is the in-house bankers for Verizon. But when we raise debt, we engage broker dealers, and those broker dealers are licensed to sell those bonds to investors. And those broker dealers then in turn, they earn fees from Verizon to do that work. Now, many of these broker dealers are large banks on Wall Street, but we set aside a portion of our budget also to work with the diversity broker dealers. But many times we ask ourselves the question of, how do we get better at partnering with the diversity firms and make those interactions more meaningful for us and for them? And so given the events recently in 2020, we did raise our allocation to the diversity firms. So we increased that allocation, but we're always asking ourselves, how do we make that better? How do we improve that and build that muscle so we get more benefits for Verizon as well as the diversity firms?
Love that, Suzanne, and thank you to you and the Treasury team for posing those questions, and not just doing that, but going beyond and helping to answer those questions. And let's learn a little bit more about our guests here in the conversation. And Sydney, we'll start with you. So back in September, Verizon, of course, went out with their second green bond. This is a massive $1 billion offering. They made Loop Capital one of the lead underwriters. Tell us more about Loop and why this was so huge for you and the company.
Happy to do so. It was an exciting opportunity for us, one, because of what's happening in the market vis-a-vis ESG, right? And the fact that this was Verizon's second green bond transaction that they had done, and to be involved in the transaction in such a significant and meaningful role was important for us. One, it allowed us to do what we've been preparing all along to do. This is our 24th year as a firm. And we are a full service investment bank and broker dealer, but we're operating in a market that is dominated by giants. But there are opportunities based on how it is that Loop has invested in its platform and built our platform that allows us to partner with those larger firms as well as with Verizon to help the company meet its objectives from a capital raising perspective. And so it was exciting then to kind of dig into the green bond transaction because of the market dynamics that are happening. So it gave us an opportunity to build our competency in an area that's a growing area in the market. But the thing that was interesting about the green bond is, in addition to kind of being the E part of ESG, it was the S part as well, in terms of Loop's involvement from a senior level at a book runner level, as well as the other minority firms that were involved. So it was significant in continuing to build out our knowledge base, but also allowing us to bring our investors to the table for the transaction.
Sydney, with Loop Capital being an African-American-owned investment firm, to finally get that proverbial seat at the table, if you will, what does something like that do for a firm like yours? How does it allow you and Loop to continue paying it forward?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question because, one of the things that we've been able to do as a firm is really, we think, have a disproportionate impact on the presence of minorities in this investment banking business. In terms of what we've done from an internship perspective, 2/3 of the folks on the Loop Capital Markets team are women and minorities, and that in and of itself is significant. And so when we have an opportunity to work with Verizon in this way, it allows us to continue to invest in our firm, to hire people, to continue to hire great talent onto the platform, to continue to do what we do from an internship perspective. And we really focus our efforts on introducing Black and Brown students to the investment banking industry. And we are just really proud of the impact that we've had in terms of exposing young people to this business, and that they've gone on to do great things either at Loop or other firms that are represented in this banking business.
And that pride you share, Sydney, it reflects in what we do as well. And in growth begets growth, as you explained here. So thank you for that. And as we learn about Loop, let's also learn a little bit more about Ramirez. Bob, just this March, Verizon, of course, launched a $25 billion bond sale, brought Ramirez into the fold as part of that sale. What does something like that do for Ramirez?
By way of brief introduction, Ramirez and Company is a Hispanic-owned investment bank. We're the nation's largest Hispanic-owned broker-dealer. We've been in business for 50 years now. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year, so it's a very big year for us. To answer your question, as Sydney mentioned, the financial services industry is really kind of dominated by a handful of large banks. What they do very well, but we know that they are large and in many ways getting larger. So for small firms like us, it's difficult to make headway in that environment. When Sam Ramirez started this firm in 1971, his friends advised him to find another name for the firm because who would do business with a firm with that name? Fortunately, he didn't listen to them, but it's easy to forget that there was a time not too long ago when diversity was not something that you really wanted to highlight, that you sort of wanted to blend in. And that was especially true in the financial services industry. We've come a long way since then, but it's taken leadership by companies like Verizon as partners to say, hey, we celebrate diversity. We celebrate it within our company. We celebrate it with our employees. We celebrate it with our vendors, our partners. And firms like Ramirez and Loop are part of that. So specifically for this $25 billion bond sale, they said, look, we know that our relationships with the large banks are important. There's no question about that. But diversity is also important. And we want people to recognize that. We can't just do business with large banks. We have to do business with firms that represent a cross-section of the communities that we serve. And we have to give them a chance to grow. And that's exactly what they've done. So this $25 billion sale is the largest single amount of fees that have been paid to the minority firm underwriters as a group of any bond sale ever. And I think Verizon should be proud of that. And we are certainly very, very cognizant of the impact of that. We're not looking for equality of outcome. We're looking for equality of opportunity. And this is what Verizon has presented.
So now that the door is open for Ramirez, a very similar question for you, Bob, as we did with Sydney. How does that in turn then open doors for others?
We realize that change takes time and that it's a process, but it's this kind of transaction, the $25 billion bond sale, that is the catalyst for that change to happen. So the publicity that we gained, that the diversity firms gained from being associated with a bond sale like this and being associated with Verizon, and being part of a marquee transaction like this, it's good for our firms standing in the broader community. I think it's good for all of the diversity firms that were involved, and it's good for Verizon. Transactions like this give companies confidence to include firms like us because of the performance and the publicity that surrounds it. It expands the list of firms, underwriters that companies might naturally think about. And on the flip side, as I mentioned before, it allows us to invest in our firm and in our community. The revenues that we gain associated with this deal are going to enable us, for example, to continue to fund our internship program, which is so important to us. And as a case in point, we recently made an offer, which was accepted, to a recent college graduate who is from an underrepresented part of the community. I'm glad to say that he'll be starting with us soon. So we see it as our role to train young men and women like this so that they can take their first step into the world of finance. The third thing that transactions like this enable us to do is to partner with nonprofit organizations that serve the community. And a great example is Aspira of New York. It's a Latino youth services organization. We've been partnering with Verizon for several years to support Aspira, and we're happy that we can continue to do this. But it's this kind of support from Verizon that enables us to support nonprofits and their work in the community. Their work in the community, in turn, enables them to support youth, which comes full circle back to us. So it's a cascading effect, and it's a very important one.
Is truly amazing when you think about, we talk a lot about building the future here at Verizon. That's what we're literally doing with our networks. But to know that the future continues to get more and more secure with more and more people entering the finance space, it's truly amazing what you, Bob, and Sydney are doing with both Loop and Ramirez. Turning now to our teammates at Verizon, Scott, we've heard obviously a lot of positive things here from Sydney and Bob in regards to what they're doing to pay it forward, to increase racial equity on Wall Street. The work is not done, obviously. There's still a lot to do. But tell us from Verizon's standpoint, how do we go about selecting firms to work with on given transactions? And really a point that we should all be thinking about, why is this good business for us?
Thanks, Andy. And just to tie this together again, I'll start with our credo. As you know, we're committed to investing in racial equity and diversity, not just because it's the right thing to do, but as you alluded, it's smart business. And how great is it to have Ramirez and Loop on this call with us to not only demonstrate the importance of diversity within Verizon, but how we fight and champion sustainable equity outside of Verizon. I'll circle back again to the most recent financing we did. As everyone knows, we just made a super important investment in C-band spectrum, and that's why we raised the $25 billion that has been alluded to today. On that transaction, we have 9 diversity and inclusion firms. 2 of the leaders were Loop and Ramirez. One of the things that we try to do is when we work with Sydney and Bob, we want to give them a chance to show their full capability. So Bob graciously mentioned that, we actually paid a record fee of $14 million on this transaction. The prior records were $12 million and $10 million for Microsoft and AT&T. On both of those transactions away from us, none of the diversity and inclusion firms actually worked with investors to advance the transaction. On this transaction, all 9 diversity and inclusion firms were asked to sell bonds. In other words, work with their customers beyond Verizon, their investors, to actually bring us demand for the transaction. And so for us, it goes beyond cutting a check. To really get the growth that we're looking for in making these investments in these relationships, we want Sydney and Bob and their firms to grow not only with capital from fees earned, but by becoming better at their craft, i.e. working with investors to bring demand to a transaction. And so on this $25 billion transaction, it broke a record in terms of all-time demand on any bond transaction in the history of the market. There was almost $115 billion of demand. The diversity and inclusion component of this was completely additive to that process. And in fact, about $500 million of the $25 billion were placed by Bob and Sydney and their diversity and inclusion peers. And so to us, it's a matter of allocating the fees to the firms that we think can not only help us, but that have a proven capability to actually grow their franchise, grow their distribution, and that makes them more appealing to the rest of corporate America as well.
It's a wonderful thing. And when you think about the totality of this conversation, when we started with the question of how can we include more diversity and inclusion, and we end really on why this is so important, and we see the results of our investments here and our partnerships with Bob and Sydney. It's truly amazing, and we talk a lot about that word growth all the time, and we're just getting started when it comes to a growing diversity and inclusion in this sector. So to Suzanne and Scott on the Treasury team, to Bob and Sydney, thank you so much for your insight, and looking forward to more great conversations like this and learning more as we continue to grow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there you have it, a conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the Treasury space. And our big thanks to Ramirez and Loop, to Sydney and Bob for really shedding light on why those investments are so important. I think about the young people that they are influencing and reaching out to, and one day those young people will be leaders in this space. And it's wonderful to think that the future is so secure and bright for them. And we've played a part in that. So we should all, the pride you sense from every panelist there was palpable as we were having that conversation, and certainly hopefully you feel that pride as well as a member of the V team. Our thanks, of course, to the Treasury team and our finance team. And as you know, our finance team has always led the way, since we've started conversations like these, and will continue to do so. So kudos to Matt and the Treasury team and the finance team, and thank you to our partners for that very open and honest discussion. All right, so that will do it for Monday. A couple quick announcements here. Again, don't forget to tune in for our earnings webcast with Hans and our leaders this Wednesday at noon Eastern. That's a big one. They're all big ones, really, though. On Thursday, celebrate Earth Day with us. We'll have a great up-to-speed episode about my second favorite mother. That's Mother Earth, of course. If Mom's watching, hi, Mom. And we end the week on the red carpet with the Oscars just around the corner. Up to Speed will be a black tie affair. We're getting suited and booted, and I am going to relearn how to tie this bow tie. I guess it's been a while, but looking forward to dressing up finally after about a year of really not wearing anything close to formal wear here. So black tie affair on Friday. We're going to talk to Diego about all the ways we're making Verizon a big part of the Oscars. And yes, I've got my tux ready to go. So this week is going to be huge. So lots to really think about, lots to be proud of, and of course a lot to digest here. So hopefully you all have a great start to the Monday, to your week here, and we've got a lot more content this week. So that'll do it for now. Have a great rest of the day, and until next time, you're up to speed.